Hello everyone and welcome to Playdate number 3 in Group B in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 Finals. We're starting with the match between ranks 4 and 5 of this group. So two players who certainly need a win to stay in the tournament run here. Especially our Night Elf player in the bottom left corner, the Polish player Paladyn, who has been looking shaky to say the least in these finals thus far. It's Paladyn, who has currently 0 points and a map score of 0 to 4, losing to both Lucifer and Happy with 0 to 2 map score. Now he's facing his third undead opponent in a row. Ancient of War placement, again, as we've seen previously by him on Twisted Meadows, so very far away from the creep camp here, which he may be trying to take eventually. And very close to this Ancient of War spawning is his opponent Elfi, the Finnish undead player who is playing his second match here in these finals. He has lost against Lucifer with 0 to 2. And yeah, he's going to be looking to get his first points here in his best of 3. He starts with the DK with ghoul build with some very active scouting early on, using both a ghoul and an acolyte. And he's going to be finding his opponent here eventually, I'm assuming. Actually sends the ghoul right now towards the next Nord camp. I guess he's going to scout here eventually. But sooner or later he's going to have a clue as to where his opponent has spawned. And for Paladyn it is the Demon Hunter first. And yeah, second archer is being produced here immediately, so he's not going for any quick Ancient of War creeping. Once again, he's going to go into this match without, any significant experience gain early on. DK is soon to spawn as well. Nothing really, lost here early on for Elfi during the time when the Demon Hunter was out already. It looks like Paladyn is going to go for some aggression immediately again. Death Knight has skilled already. It looks like we are seeing Coil first by Elfi. He's now on the run from this Demon Hunter, who of course would love to land some mana burns. More archers being produced already by the Night Elf. That's some blocking, so Demon Hunter... No, actually Demon Hunter is not gonna get the mana burn in just now. Looks like Elfi is getting ready, pulling some ghouls and starting to attack. We'll see if he's going to creep some or if he's going to get aggressive immediately. Both seem like valid options. The ghouls have been scouted here by one of the archers of Paladyn, who has started his tech as well. Only has 2 Moonwells currently. The ghouls are creeping though, so Elfi not looking to punish that. And the archer has got the last hit here against one of the creeps. That was nicely done there by Paladyn. So perhaps a much needed confidence boost here for the Night Elf. He finds the ghouls. The big creep has gone to the undead though, who is going to creep some more on the other side of the map. Just gathering bits of experience, and we can already see a bit of a difference in the approach here between Elfi and the other 2 undeads that we've seen against Paladyn, especially Lucifer. Elfi just trying to get into a solid position in the mid game, just trying to gain some experience. No crazy pressure or anything like that coming out of him. And this time it's going to be Paladyn who's applying some pressure. Demon Hunter with Immolation first, so never mind me saying mana burn there earlier on. Ghouls are able to chase the archers away. The Demon Hunter gets slowed, and is he going to be getting surrounded? Elfi's trying to go for that. The Demon Hunter with Immolation is going to be able to get some decent damage dealt against the ghouls here, and he's actually, he is able to squeeze out. But alright, nothing has been killed here. One archer is falling on the side of the Night Elf, so at the end of the day, definitely not worth it, since anything that's not killed here is going to be regenerating very, very quickly on the Blight. Second Crypt is now coming for the undead, so we're going to see him going into gargoyles. The Ancient of War is finally getting into position for some creeping. Moonwall number 3 is coming just now, really? Yeah, he forgot a Moonwall. He's gonna be able to build 2 tier 2 buildings though. And then he's gonna have the supply for a second hero. Ghouls are continuing to creep some. Dust of Appearance used by the Death Knight, forcing these archers to continue running away. And actually, this time it's gonna be Paladyn who's gonna land the creep check. Another immolation used. One of the skeletons might be falling here. The Wisp is trying to do some blocking, but the Ghoul of Elfie is doing some blocking in the meantime. Both of them doing a fairly good job here, preventing their opponents from getting anything done, but it looks like this Ghoul might be the one getting into trouble. But now Elfie is actually able to squeeze past, and Paladyn doesn't succeed in blocking another Ghoul. So at the end of the day, it's the Death Knight who has gained plenty of experience here. I don't believe that he's going to allow Paladyn to just finish the creep here. And once again, I believe Elfie hasn't lost anything here. So Paladyn with a lot of aggression, making things not too easy for Elfie, but thus far the undead hasn't, you know, fallen for anything like that. Okay, it looks like now finally some experience gained on the side of Paladyn as well. I was just saying Elfie is not gonna let that creep just go to Paladyn too easily, but turns out I was wrong. Tier 3 halfway finished already for Elfie, getting double Ancient of Lore. He's gonna get his panda, and yeah, there's the panda. And gonna wanna start creeping there. Elfie having his own agenda there, though coming in with the Death Knight and the first gargoyle, but it looks like he's gonna be too late for this Ancient of Lore. So he's gonna go for a bit of Wisp hunting. It looks like this Wisp is being surrounded here, but as the DH is coming in, the panda coming in as well. The Death Knight is gonna have to get going. Bunch of Ghoul comings, somewhat quick tier 3 on the side of Elfie as well. But it doesn't look like there's great potential for a tier 2 push right now. Looks like Elfie might be trying it, nevertheless trying to go for the creep check here. The 2 ogres have already fallen, but the archers are gonna have to start running here. No Tomo XP for the Demon Hunter. Ghouls are staying nearby. And this actually turns out to be quite annoying. The Demon Hunter is not surrounded here. He's to try and fight his way out. It looks like he may be forced into a town portal, as he was the one carrying the staff of preservation. Plenty of damage taken on those ghouls. The Forest Troll Warlord finishing off 2 more. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be Elfie killing the main creep here and picking up the Boots of Kel'Thalas. So alright, the tier 2 pressure, well, I mean, showing some impact, but I mean, that was very, very costly for Elfie as well. So, I mean, yeah, Town Portal has been forced here, and the Forest Troll Warlord did go to the undead. But I mean, he lost like 3 or 4 ghouls, a gargoyle, and yeah, that wasn't all too cheap, is what I'm getting at. But at least he kept the experience of the panda to a minimum for the time being. And yeah, the gargoyle harassment. Yeah, the serious gargoyle harassment is beginning here. 2 bears already at the base of Elfie. This time, unlike in his match against Happy, the master upgrade has been finished by this time, which, you know, I didn't even check last time since I was, you know, just absolutely sure that it must have finished. This time Paladyn isn't making the same mistake. Once again, his panda is without any items in the Demon Hunter's Scholar Staff. But there isn't really a lot of nuking potential on the side of Elfie, so I guess there isn't too much danger for the heroes of the Night Elf to actually die here. The Elfie continues harassing here inside the main of Paladyn. So it looks like he's not yet feeling the pressure to come home and help defend against the bear pressure. A 3rd bear has arrived right now. Not really sure why he wouldn't go into master. Okay, there he goes. Into master shape. 3 gargoyles are home to defend. Those aren't gonna do all too much though against this Demon Hunter with the orb. against a bit of archer focus. Raw used here. The skeletons are being picked off quite quickly. The panda is approaching level 2. Breath of Fire is coming in. And now the gargoyles are being sent home. It looks like Elfi finally feels the pressure here in Paladyn's strategy. Definitely working out a lot better than it did in his first 2 best of 3. Breath of Fire is coming in. The Lich is not getting out as the altar is falling here. 2 Spirit Towers already finished though, so I'm not really sure how much longer Paladyn is going to be able to keep the pressure up here. The Ruby Tower is getting killed though. Staff of Preservation right now used on one of the bears. He needs to pass the staff onto the panda to staff the next bear. He staffs. Well, he gets the staff passed, but he doesn't staff the bear. Now he's going to be able to staff the Demon Hunter though, at least. So that's something. Right, so 1 bear lost at the end, but a push well worth it for the Night Elf. In the meantime, building the expansion as, you know, they usually do. I mean, I've talked about the general approach a little bit in the match between Harpy and Paladyn on the same map here. But we never got to see the really late stages of that game as Paladyn ended up throwing the match quite quickly. Basically around this stage of the game, time-wise. Yeah, gargoyles are coming in for some more harassment. There's surprisingly a lot of lumber on the side of Paladyn, even though he doesn't have a lot of lumber wisps remaining. It looks like he's perhaps banked some. The gargoyles are now finding the Tree of Life, which is going to march towards the expansion right now. There is a town portal on the Demon Hunter, so I guess chances are that we're gonna see some more pressure here by him, and perhaps eventually even a town portal to the expansion. There is no Staff of Preservation, Staff of Teleportation, excuse me. Boneyard has been cancelled here, so the worms yeah, are gonna take a little while longer. Yeah, as there is no Staff of Teleportation, the Demon Hunter cannot just get there quickly and defend against the gargoyles. So the pressure will be kept up here for the time being. And I mean, these gargoyles, especially as long as the Tree of Life is still regenerating from eating a tree, aren't really a bother to Paladyn, who is pushing forward against the undead base. Sacrificial pit has been cancelled. Has been killed, excuse me. The shop is gonna have to be cancelled again. And yeah, there is really, again, there's a lot of pressure against Elfi here, who's now moving out with a couple of ghouls, with 2 gargoyles here, one of which is taking a lot of heat, is getting the coil just in time though. And once again, the altar is under fire. Acolytes are coming out for mass repair. Ghouls are coming out, attacking one of the archers here. The gargoyle is actually surviving. The one archer is falling mana burn against the Death Knight. Now the Lich is out the way. I think this is, yeah, this is where it gets a lot harder for Paladyn to keep the pressure up here. And there it goes. Town portal has to be used. It's actually not used to the Tree of Life here, but to the main. Demon Hunter is going to be able to heal up quite easily, and the rest of the army, I guess, is going to march down here and start chasing away these gargoyles, creep the expansion, and so on and so forth. That expansion, from Paladyn's perspective, is hopefully going to provide some much needed experience for the panda, which is now coming in with his own orb. Yeah, Paladyn has bought a second one, and he's going to be able to keep this Tree of Life alive for the moment. I mean, Lich and Death Knight are roaming around, but it's highly questionable how much they are going to be able to do, especially given that the Death Knight is out of mana here currently. Yeah, so it looks like Elfi isn't even going to try all too hard. Panda is getting ready. He can just easily creep here, even without the Tree of Life. I mean, at this stage, you don't really need the Ancients to tank anymore. He's got 4 bears here. He's got 2, you know, heroes that are at least solid at tanking. And Elfi knows no fear here, flying in with these extremely low HP gargoyles. The panda is being staffed immediately, but isn't going to be able to do any damage with his Breath of Fire. An Ancient Protector is being put up here. It looks like some anti-air is going to have to be positioned, but with the gargoyles being that low, there shouldn't be all too much pressure before this Ancient Protector is finishing. So Elfi at 43 supply, so it looks like he's going to add a Frostworm here. Well, he has added a Frostworm already, excuse me. Could even add another one before going up, or while going up to only 50 supply. because as a result of that, the number of gargoyles isn't insanely great, so there's not gonna be, you know, tremendous harassment opportunities, and especially with his gargoyles being caught off guard like that, the harassment isn't going to be all too troublesome to the Knight Elf. One of the gargoyles only is falling. I think Elfie getting quite lucky here. Could have gone way worse for him. The meantime is creeping some more though. Lich approaching level 2. Death Knight way over level 3. So is the Demon Hunter. By the way, Energy Pendant found down here and put onto the Panda. Another Ancient Protector is coming. And then I think this expansion should be extremely safe. Panda is spending a lot of time though, just sitting here and defending. Okay, not really sure which path this Ancient of War took. It came from here. I mean, obviously it's being taken down right now. Yeah, it came from here, and I think it went all the way around the forest here. Lich level 2.5, and it looks like we're gonna see the undead creeping the island right now, realizing that there's nothing he can do against the Night Elf expansion for the time being. He's gonna go for his own expansion. The Acolyte is already waiting here for the Zeppelin to pick him up, and I think that's gonna happen quite soon. And Paladyn thereby is gonna give him some map control. He's gonna be given some time to creep up his heroes, especially the Panda, of course. Is well, we'll keep an eye on his economic situation, and we'll see whether or not he's gonna add Ancients of Wind eventually. Panda has reached level 3, another mana item here, the Sobi Mask, and an XP Tome. So 3.5, and all of a sudden this Panda is looking like a beast.
Research finished.
Let's see, Death Knight and Lich both level up as well. 4 DK, 3 Lich, so Elfie hasn't been sleeping on the job either. The Fellstalker here, the Spike Collar, has been sold for some additional money. Can never have enough Heath Scrolls, or can never have too much Heath Scrolls, at least too many, excuse me, in this kind of situation. So having one certainly isn't gonna hurt. The gargoyles are back for some harassment, by the way. 1-0 upgrades on those, no upgrades on the Night Elf side, who, as you can see on the minimap, has revealed at the island behind the undead main, so he might be quite aware of what has happened here. Breath of Fire has come in against the Death Knight, and the Frostworm, once again, the undead has to fall back into his own base. Once again, I believe this was the Sacrificial Pit that has fallen. No, it was the Tome of Relics, actually. So yeah, once again, some pressure, and even the Zapper is coming in here, only hitting the main, so it looks like he just really wants to snipe this Black Citadel. Elfie's going for the Demon Hunter with everything he's got, now going for the Panda. Demon Hunter, does he have the staff? Yes, he does, and he's able to staff the Panda in time. Is the Black Citadel going to fall, though? Another bear is under attack. It's getting very close, but it looks like the tree is gonna, the main is gonna stay alive, and actually the gargoyles have finished off the Panda here. That was certainly unexpected, and neither Paladyn nor I were really getting what was happening there, and Elfie being on top of things, swinging in here with the gargoyles and finishing off the low HP Panda. That was nicely done, and that was a big commitment here by Paladyn, actually not losing too much in his attempt to kill this Black Citadel, but at the end of the day, the Panda has gone down, his Entangled Goldmine has been killed as well, and the Town Portal has been forced. So what looked like, you know, acceptable to say the least, all of a sudden, after taking a closer look, turns out to be quite troublesome from Paladyn's perspective. The second expansion is now, or the second mine is now finished. Some more Acolytes waiting to be picked up and dropped. 2 mines, some gold. So soon we'll have full double income for both the players. So can Elfie make use of the fact that for the time being there is no Panda on the side of Paladyn? Well, I guess not, since the Panda is about to respawn. Also, the mains are already about to run out. Both of them have taken about the same gold loss here during this game. Paladyn getting his mine killed. Elfie having to pull Acolytes over and over again to repair. Another creep camp taken here. But it looks like Elfie feels confident enough to already apply more pressure on to Paladyn. It's not falling back, it's not going for any more creeping, anything like that. And Paladyn, what is he doing? He's catching 2 gargoyles on their way. One of them is falling, the other one is probably going to get away. But is he not going to defend here? The first Ancient Protector has fallen, the second Ancient Protector is certainly going to fall as well. Could detonate some to get rid of the Death Knight's mana. But it looks like he's just running here. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire kills one of the gargoyles. The stone form there came slightly too late. Damage has already been taken, but not by all too many gargoyles. So the Ancient Protectors have been taken down. So this means this expansion is now very accessible for gargoyle harassment again. And I mean, that's not going to ease off anytime soon as far as I can tell. Guess a slaughterhouse would be a reasonable addition soon for statues here for those 2 heroes of the undead, which are becoming more and more menacing by the minute. Death Knight in the meantime is already approaching level 5. It's like a shredder has been dropped here, but with the gargoyles nearby, that one isn't gonna do all too much. I guess 2 of the acolytes have fallen here. Zeppelin has been taken down. Shredder not falling just yet, as the Demon Hunter is nearby with the Staff of Preservation. So right, some multitasking going on there on both sides. Ancient Protectors are being rebuilt. New Sacrificial Pit is even coming, so it's like Elfie wants to have a bit of additional vision. Doesn't want to miss any more upcoming expansions, which are likely to be taken by Paladyn. For example, this one that we see here close to the spawn position at the bottom right of the map. The gold mines have now, well, the main gold mines have now been depleted. We'll see if Paladyn's going to be willing to march away from his moonwells with his main building. Yeah, and look at the gargoyles just being extremely annoying here. 3 wisps have fallen. Okay, Breath of Fire coming in, Drunken Haze afterwards. A 4th wisp is falling, so this is really becoming extremely annoying. At least with the shredder, there is, you know, there's some great lumber income on the side of Paladyn. Elfie, on the other hand, just sitting back in his own base. There's the slaughterhouse being added right now. And what is he gonna do? Another island expansion? I mean, he hasn't scouted this yet, but he's gonna have to keep up at some point. And these gargoyles, while they're being annoying, I'm not so sure how well he'd fare in a straight up fight currently. But I mean, that's not on the agenda. Not gonna be on the agenda anytime soon. Some more creeping is being done. In the meantime, he's just losing moonwell after moonwell here. This is quite an unconventional attempt there by Paladyn. Just going for the big camps and ignoring the harassment inside of his own base there for the time being. He's used the anti-magic potion just to have another inventory slot available for the time being to pick up the spell shield, which is of course a very pleasant item drop against the Coil Nova for him. Speaking of the Coil Nova, the Death Knight is now going to reach level 5. And the gargoyles, yeah, are just hanging out at the back of the Knight of Base, waiting for the panda to leave again, which has happened. But the Knight Elf heroes also both are on level 4, so not to be underestimated, certainly. Especially that Breath of Fire against the gargoyles. Alright, the Shade has now seen the Tree of Life here. And are we gonna see a creep check? No. We see the Undead committing with everything he's got to this harassment against the main of his opponent. He's gonna kill the shop first. The creep camp is gonna be taken here. Where's the Demon Hunter? Okay, he's waiting on the outside of the creep camp with a town portal. So not trying to defend against this all by himself, which would be, you know, pretty much suicidal. But not stealing any XP from the panda as well, who's approaching level 5. Demon Hunter is now coming in. And the town portal, well, will force the undead away for the time being, but there's not really all too much that that Paladyn can do against this harassment for the time being, except, you know, except dealing with it. Interesting. Placing 2 moonwells here at first. Looks like he's gonna try and establish another base here. So this is really tricky for both players here currently. I mean, Paladyn's got the map control. Paladyn's got the, I'm assuming, more frightening army in a straight up fight. And he's aiming to get more expansions up. And Elfie needs to find the right balance between harassing everywhere, keeping up economically, not, you know, falling victim to some, you know, nasty Breath of Fire business, keeping his main alive, and yeah, just staying in the game economically. And Paladyn, of course, he has to get those additional expansions up. He needs to make use of the map control he's been given here, and he needs to not, you know, fall victim to the undead's game here, which is just hit and run and harassment everywhere, and the Night Elf is just 2 steps behind all of the time. So town portal is coming in by the undead this time. A lot of buildings once again have fallen here. The panda is the first target. He needs to, okay, not staff, since the panda was the one carrying the town portal. Actually, both of the heroes were carrying a town portal. The Death Knight almost falling here in the last second before the Night Elf's town portal is coming through. Even the Tree of Eternity has been moved in the meantime. So keep in mind, now in a fight when anything is staffed, there are no moonwells nearby to heal up immediately. The gargoyles are arriving here. The panda and the rest of the Night Elf army are nearby. And well, one thing I mentioned briefly earlier on is that, you know, I was gonna keep an eye on the economic situation of the Night Elf. I was gonna keep an eye on whether or not he'd add Ancients of Wind for hippogriffs, because, you know, as long as there are no flying units for Paladyn, of course, the gargoyles will always be able to just, you know, kite back above the forest and basically be safe up there. Whereas with hippogriffs, the game, you know, develops a bit of a different dynamic, which you can see, in case you haven't, in some matches of the group stage, for example. For example, Hasu Ops against Nightwolf on Twisted Meadows, or Happy against Hot on Twisted Meadows. But I guess there's no need to go too much into detail about that here, as long as we don't see Ancient of Wind being added, which for the time being doesn't seem to be the case. He's forgetting his shredder here. I mean, he's got 600 lumber, but it could definitely be more. Especially given that Trees of Life and Ancient Protectors aren't really the cheapest lumber-wise. So yeah, the expansion up here is being cancelled. The expansion here has gone down. So currently Paladyn is at 2 mines. And is he at 2 mines already? Yeah, more or less. And so is Elfie, also more or less, waiting for the Necropolis to finish here to saturate this expansion. And I don't think that this has been scouted already by Paladyn. So not sure when he's gonna find out about that. So the entire base here is being taken down except for the one moonwell. Now the town portal is coming in. Lich is also very close to level 5, and then the nuke is really becoming a dangerous threat here. He's going for one of the bears with Koinova. Staff is being used. And once again, Elfie is forced back to his own base to defend. Is, in the meantime, some new Tree of Life coming somewhere? Not just yet. An Ancient Protector is coming here. And more harassment by Elfie, who really, he needs to keep the pressure up here, but he's doing a pretty good job at this particular stage of the game. He has to fall back right now again. He's got 3-0 upgrades as well on those gargoyles and on the worms. And he's splitting his army, which, you know, by the looks of it, Paladyn is not doing such a good job at. You know, there's the worm here, a statue, 2 gargoyles and the heroes. These gargoyles by themselves are quite annoying to deal with. And it looks like Paladyn is struggling a little bit to keep up with the multitasking here. So gargoyles are flying in again. One wisp is not falling. Paladyn is reacting in time here. Yeah, Panda is coming back. Demon Hunter is already there. But now the entire army is again sitting here. And I think Elfie probably should realize what's happening. And he could just use his heroes and the Frostworm and like the 2 Gargs to go down here. Or even harass here or harass the main, you know, kill the lores. Anything basically. Anything to keep the Night Elf, you know, busy. Force the Night Elf to multitask. Once again, just as the army is leaving, the gargoyles are coming in. I think the Elfie is doing a pretty good job at this. This expansion still hasn't been scouted as far as I can tell. And there we go.
Our town is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Okay, now it looks like Paladyn is once again sick of it, and he's going to be one putting up the pressure. The expansion here is going to be cancelled. The gold mine here is going to be killed. This one is, okay, still 4,000 in there. So for the time being, there's going to be 1 mine income on the side of the undead, and then he's going to have to come back though to defend. He's pulling the town portal right now. The gargoyles, I'm assuming, will be flying back eventually. Okay, town portal very passively. The slaughterhouse is being cancelled here. The disease cloud upgrade did not come through. And Koi Nova onto the Demon Hunter. I believe the Nova was blocked by the spell shield. Panda has been staffed right now, so finally he's getting at least 1 good breath of fire in against the gargoyles, but that alone isn't gonna do it. And I think all of the wisps have also fallen on the side of Paladyn. Okay, Koi Nova, another bear being caught here, and the Lich is level 5, so the full nuking potential has now been reached on the side of Elfie. No new slaughterhouse here just yet. But Elfie sitting at 72 supply, 1,200 gold. Whereas Paladyn at 50 with only about 400 gold. So, I mean, slowly this is, you know, becoming really apparent that Paladyn is struggling to keep up here in this game. And I think sooner or later Elfie will just have the means to basically stomp Paladyn in a straight up fight if the Night Elf doesn't find some way to you know, stop Elfie from what he's currently doing here. So yeah, these 2 wisps should be probably screwed here once again. One of them is getting killed, the other one is actually getting away. In the meantime, more harassment here. Moonwell has already fallen. The first of the Ancients of Lore is falling. Drunken Haze coming in. Breath of Fire is coming in right now. But once again, the gargoyles are looking quite healthy. Actually, the Panda is now the one who's got to run away, as the heroes are coming in from the bottom, and a Koi Nova might be striking this Panda soon. Rest of the Night Elf army is joining the Panda though. Looks like Paladyn is just, Elfie is just focusing on the Tree of Eternity though. Drunken Haze is coming in once again. Breath of Fire, is there a heal scroll? Yes, there is. He could have used that. Decides to just use the town port though. Instead, the main has been killed. One of the Ancients of Lore has been killed, so currently there is only 1 Ancient of Lore to produce from for Paladyn. And it doesn't look like he's gonna get another one anytime soon. This is the 1 Tree of Life that seems somewhat safe, which he could use to take up to tier 2. And Elfie at 2,000 gold. He's adding double slaughterhouse, another ziggurat. Looks like he's preparing to go up to perhaps 100 supply eventually. Let's take a look at his first expansion. 1,600 gold in here. Keep in mind that, you know, this is Twisted Meadows, and the islands here, they are only containing 10,000 gold, unlike the usual natural expansions that contain 12,500, as well as the spawn positions. So there's a little bit less to be gained from the islands. There's always a bit of, you know, tiny bit of time pressure on the undeads from that perspective. But I mean, in this case, Elfie already saved up over 2,000 gold, almost 2,500. So it doesn't look like he's gonna be in any financial trouble anytime soon. So Paladyn crept his panda up to level 5. At least that's something. He's once again going to keep the pressure up here. But I mean, slowly but surely, if you compare the armies, this is a giant number of gargoyles. These are very strong undead heroes. And these are only a bunch of dryads, some of which already pretty hurt, and 2 bears and 2 heroes. So yeah, slowly we're getting to that point where I don't think Elfie needs to be frightened anymore at all. Destroyer upgrade is now finishing. The last Ancient of Lore is about to get killed, and once again Elfie is going to town portal home, and once again Paladyn is going to be the one who's forced to run. And now, yeah, you can clearly see the confidence now. The town portal coming in very aggressively. One bear immediately falling. The second one has been staffed here, and the panda has to use the town portal here as another gargoyle is... Yeah, okay, this gargoyle is actually falling, and the demon hunter getting very close to dying there for a moment. Getting the nuke, but surviving. Okay, didn't really pick up on that, but Paladyn with a huge load of Ancient Protectors here. Looks like they've all been marching from his first expansion to the spawn position, so securing the space, at least to some extent. 2 more Ancient Protectors are up here. And Paladyn once again is breaking into low upkeep. Actually, in this particular situation, well, generally speaking as well, of course, but especially in this particular situation, you can really see the Disease Cloud wearing off these wearing down these dryads. No, those aren't really in the greatest shape to take a fight at the moment. It looks like Paladyn isn't even gonna try and defend this expansion. I mean, okay, there's only 500 gold in there, so that's not really worth defending with the odds that he's facing currently in a straight up fight. But instead, yeah, what's he gonna go for? A heal scroll maybe? Let's take a look at the panda. 2 heal scrolls even. And he decides to buy a town portal and defend here. And Elfie, he really couldn't care less, as it appears. Just falling back, he's just poking elsewhere. Getting another expansion, this time on the mainland. You know, securing his double gold income again, which he's just lost after this expansion has depleted. And he's letting Paladyn have the last few, you know, seconds of income here. Gargoyles are flying in though with a very good timing. Falling back again. 3,000 gold in the meantime saved up by Elfie. Who's down to 1 slaughterhouse again. It's gonna be able to go up to 100 once this necropolis finishes. This one still has about 4,000 gold in it. And it just continues creeping. Scourge Bone Chimes I don't think are going to be of too much use. Spying 3 zappers here, so let's take a quick look. Triple Ancient of Lore coming for Paladyn, who didn't have a lot of ways to spend his gold. Previously he was up at over 1,000 as well. I'm not sure if he's going to be really able to make great use of triple Ancient of Lore though. Oh yeah, and he's actually used one of his zappers at least up here, taking down the rest of this base. And the 2 zappers here, well, theoretically, I don't think that you can land the full damage if you explode in between those two. In between those two, probably. So yeah, we'll see how well the undead's gonna be able to make use of those zappers. Or, you know, if it's gonna be able to do so at all. The zapper's actually moving down here towards the Moonwells. Meantime, the Death Knight being chased here. Wisp is coming in for some blocking, but the Lich is not willing to let that happen. The Zappers are about to come in. Death Knight, is he gonna be able to, is he gonna be forced to town portal? Zappers coming in. One of them is getting rid of 2 Moonwells there, basically just increasing the speed of the Night Elf. You know, losing buildings here. By the way, the Death Knight did end up town portaling.
Summoning is complete.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
But yeah, with the way this game is going, it's really, you know, more and more difficult to see Paladyn come out on top of things. Gargoyles continue flying. Ah, what did he spend all of his gold on? Well, like half of his gold. Okay, getting a bunch of towers here. Getting double sacrificial pit. So certainly spending enough resources to defend this base. He's actually giving Paladyn a little bit of time to produce an army again. So that could actually turn out to be a mistake. But I mean, we're far from having Paladyn being, you know, in a position where he's actually posing a big threat to Elfie.
Summoning is complete.
But alright, Elfie just continues having the superior position here economically. I mean, another gold mine will be secured though, probably for Paladyn. So he's gonna be back up at double income. But I mean, for how long is that economic balance gonna last between the two? As another red spot has already been taken here by the gargoyles. Scroll of Restoration, by the way, dropped here. Yeah, slowly taking down another goblin laboratory. Let me just quickly take a look here. I think this has still not been scouted by Paladyn. Another breath will be coming in here in just a second. Okay, and once again some pressure. Dropping the Scourge Bone Chimes here. Town portaling back. I guess some nuke is gonna come out of these undead heroes immediately. Gargoyles just continue flying around here, but both of these bases seem to be decently secured. So this is really Elfie just taking it, you know, playing it insanely safe. I mean, I guess if like 15 minutes ago he would have just broken into high upkeep and go to like 90, 95 supply, he could have already finished the game here. But yeah, he really likes his economy apparently. Triple heal scroll, double mana potion on those heroes. Back up to 2,500 gold. Still 3-0 upgrades. And yeah, some more pressure once again. Looks like now the entire army of gargoyles is gonna come back to defend though. And are we gonna see a full-on fight right now? It's the question. I guess Paladyn doesn't feel like that. And for a pretty good reason. But yeah, once again, the last slaughterhouse for the time being has fallen. So I don't see Elfie producing a lot of units anytime soon. I'd expect him to, you know, with perhaps double slaughterhouse is coming. With perhaps double slaughterhouse to add like 4 or even 6 abominations until or before going for a big significant end fight. I guess with these gargoyles he's got the damage output he needs against the gargoyles, not really in need for a, you know, gigantic load of meat wagons here or anything like that. But yeah, even that would probably still do the trick here. So, by the way, the third island expansion is now coming for Elfie. Death Knight about to reach level 6. We'll keep an eye on what he's going to skill. Currently, Unholy Aura level 3. I'd be expecting level 2. I'd be expecting Unholy Aura level 3 once he reaches level 6. Now, double slaughterhouse is finished. As well as the first defense upgrade for the gargoyles and the frostworm. So yeah, what to do for Paladyn? Looks like just holding his 2 bases is enough of a challenge. The Panda has been staffed back. Breath of Fire coming in. He has to use the Immo Potion immediately here, realizing that he stands alone in defending his, well, first, second, third, fourth expansion in total, I guess. Well, if you count this, but this one has never been running, so I guess there's no point in counting this for Paladyn's expansions. So yeah, another Invul Potion forced here. The Undead regrouping. And okay, he has broken into high upkeep right now, so it looks like he's aiming to finish this game. 2 Abominations added and a bunch of meat wagons afterwards. He's gonna go up to 4 meat wagons in total.
Our gold mine has collapsed.
Next gold mine has been depleted here in the meantime. Still, one of them is running for Elfie. A second one is actually being cancelled. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, we're just gonna, okay, and this one has also been cancelled. Okay, so it looks like we're just gonna see Elfie going for it sooner or later, as he's approaching the 100 supply mark. He's added a second defense upgrade in the meantime. The Abominations are ready. These 2 of them. 2 more wagons are about to spawn. Gargoyles have cancelled the Ancient Protector here. And, well, the bear here, I mean, okay. He maybe can free up some supply for Elfie. Or not. Zeppelin is there in time, flying away. And now we have Elfie at 100 supply, adding meat wagons number 5 and 6. So damage output against the gargoyles is gonna be insane with, I don't know, 15 gargoyles or so, as well as 6 meat wagons. Well, Paladyn was able to get up to 80 supply though as well, so there's at least a bit of an army here to resist Elfie. And if Paladyn somehow holds, somehow he's gonna be the one with double income against no income. And keep in mind, if the Night Elf heroes reach level 6 here, they are going to be, you know, significantly more improved than the Undead heroes by their level 6. Which, by the way, the Death Knight has reached in the meantime. And he's still got level 2 Unholy Aura, so perhaps we have a chance of seeing the ultimate here. He's got double mana potion. And is really Paladyn the one bringing the fight to his opponent here against the 100 supply? It looks like that's what we're seeing here. Breath of Fire is coming in. The meat wagons from the back starting to shoot. The rest of the gargoyles is coming in from the right hand side. A gigantic number of Dryades on the field though as well. The Panda is taking some damage here. The Demon Hunter is gonna have to staff that one out. Heal Scroll, I believe, used by the Panda, and there's the Town Portal coming in. Look at the damage output against these Dryads here. They're just falling apart one after another. Elfie losing a couple of gargoyles here, and Paladyn losing quite a few of his Dryads. Demon Hunter has reached level 5 in the meantime too, so that's at least something. There are still 4 heal scrolls on the side of Elfie, who's just bringing the entire army right now, even a few acolytes, to do some repair. And he's gonna bring the fight to this expansion, and if this one falls, the game should be over.
Your building is complete.
The Demon Hunter's coming in from the side. The Panda needs to be careful though, coming in from the bottom. Lich just using Nova there, but the Spell Shield blocking that one. Still, the damage output is quite significant. The Panda is coming in from the bottom. Demon Hunter has to use the Town Portal though. Is the Panda at least going to be able to do something significant? Well, that Breath of Fire is about as good as it gets. Looks like the Night Elf army Town Portal to the spawn position here though, at the bottom right. And Elfie, yeah, pressing forward. An attack upgrade finished for the wagons in the meantime as well. I guess this first Ancient Protector isn't going to last all too long. Drunken Haze Breath, excuse me, Coil Nova coming in onto the Panda after he casted Drunken Haze Breath of Fire onto those gargoyles. One Heat Scroll used immediately to counter that. The Meat Wagons shooting at the Dryads. The nuke on the Panda, is it going to be enough? Panda using all the healing he can get here, is being staffed back right now, but right in front of the Undead Army, which is, yeah, killing it right now. And there's so little of an army left standing on the side of Paladyn. Still 88 supply for Elfie. The entire screen, as you can see, is filled with undead units, as the Demon Hunter will probably be the last unit to fall here for Paladyn in this game. And Elfie is easily going to be able to take down this base, and with Paladyn having really nothing left, I guess that should be the end of the game soon. The Tree of Ages has fallen, level 7 even for the Death Knight. Both of the Knight of Heroes rebought at the tavern, but the Lich is finding both of them, and the Demon Hunter is the first one getting nuked again. And yeah, that's at the end of this game. Well, I guess way overdue, as Paladyn got into this game decently. He got his expansion up. He finally was able to apply that pressure, you know, at the time his master for his bears finished, to apply that pressure that you wanna be able to apply as a Night Elf with that strategy. He's got up his expansion eventually, and then, well, given that this is Twisted Meadows, the game went into this later stage where it's all about getting up the expansions, keeping the expansions alive, you know, doing hit and runs from an undead perspective, dealing with the hit and runs from a Night Elf's perspective, while still, if possible, applying some pressure back to the undead. And at that stage, Elfie just, you know, proved to be the superior player between those two. And, well, around the 30-minute mark, I guess, he was really pulling ahead. He was, you know, securing his second expansion. He was dealing a lot of damage with his hit and run stuff. And he was able to save up so much gold. He was able to, you know, just basically be ahead in every aspect. And then I think he maybe played a little bit too safely. I guess the game could have been over after like 40 minutes as well. As it went, it took about 50. And at the end, Elfie is the one leading 1-0. We'll have the second map, Nullwood, on which things certainly will not go exactly this way, as there are no island expansions available still. I guess we're very likely to see gargoyles on that second map as well. Let's see if the game is going to take as long as this one, and if we'll have the same victor at the end of it.